All right. Welcome back, guys. We got some more film breakdown. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm gonna be kind of doing this a little bit differently. And I'm gonna try to establish some baselines with some of the stuff that I'm talking about. So I feel like I'm not on the same page with a lot of different people when it comes to certain aspects of the game, like what it takes to improve, etc., all that. So I'm gonna be kind of jumping around. I want to just establish some baselines real quick, so it might just take me a little bit to sort of get it going. This is when we had Jimmy in playing lefty. I'm playing center. Savo, Ty, Chris playing right D. So right off the bat, had time, space, found the pass, forced the pass, back check, support is there, support is there again, push them offside. I'm gonna try to verbally just kind of like explain what's going on, at least in my head. I'm also on YouTube, so TikTok, if it's better for you guys to watch over there, it might be. What's up, Nate? I don't want to talk too much for the chat. I'm just kind of more focused on this because I think this is a big deal of what's happening with us right now. It concerns a lot of the different areas. So if you're new to the stream, it's not going to be really much of excitement. It's just kind of me just kind of watching the games. If there's going to be games later, it will be on a different stream. So it's kind of up to your own interest if you guys really do want to watch this. Let me actually take this back. Again, here I'm only trying to establish guidelines or baselines right now. Good support there. Good one-on-one play there with support. Made a guy miss. Was able to support on that. Taking it all the way. Tries to pass. So that's okay. That's a tough one right there. But how did that even get to that point? All right, we had yellow up. So where's... Wait, blue was where? Oh, so Jimmy... Alright, so it was like a three-man rotation? Teal took off back. Sort of a mini rotation, but not quite precise. That's definitely... Oh, he got back in time. But the initial neutral zone play was off. And that's why it was such an easy break-in. Moving it up. One-on-one play. Made a guy miss. Shot. Looking for a rebound. Forecheck is there. Pushing him to the outside. Man marking there. Trap successful with support. There. Missing opportunity left side. So that should have been high to me. Again, if what I'm saying doesn't really make sense, I'm going to explain it later on. I'm just kind of trying to, again, establish some baselines. I'm kind of just trying to sort of establish what would be considered high, medium, and low in terms of play style against the other team and what they're doing. So like a high versus medium, mid v mid, or low v mid. It's not necessarily where it's taking place on the ice. It's like the interpretation of the grade level that I'm trying to establish, which won't make sense now, but it eventually will. Personally, let's see. Break in there, had time. Keeping them to the outside. Support through the middle. Shot from the point. Back check there. For the push. Shot low for a rebound. Man marking. Keeps him to the perimeter. Could have been... Oh, he got it. Also had support. Quick neutral zone play up. Trying to find the backhand. Okay, so team aspect, I would probably give just a medium. It'd probably just be mid. So, okay, we'll switch now to here. So we had a different lineup in this game. This is the games from Saturday. I was playing lefty. We had Chris Sable. So right side still the same. I'm moving from the center to lefty. 2 new guys in at center and left flank. Control. In. Try to find a pass. 3 guys deep. 3 on 2. But for some reason, this guy can't take off. Why is he so... Why is this guy in the middle look so freaking slow? No? Does he look slow? There was a launch, a Hail Mary up, which... How did they not get the puck off him? He's at low stand, too. He made... No. This is where, like... What he's actually showing and what the game is giving him is sort of boosting his rating. But he's literally just skating straight, but that's literally how it is in 24. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys try to hit him, essentially, and they couldn't get the puck off him. And he's at mid to low stamina. Holland takes it, finds the back pass to him, lots of space, and he scores. So, I wouldn't say the break-in was anything special. I wouldn't count that as like a high break-in, high-level break-in. But the initial, like, or he goes in, he finds the pass, center, right? Red does his job to sort of pull it away from the poke check to find green back. Turns, utilizes the space he has to just simply snipe the short side. So the defense, as much as he was on green, they weren't necessarily doing a whole lot to earn themselves a high grade in that. So it's sort of like, I would probably count that could be touching the low green in my opinion. And it could be the defense was definitely mid because they were there but they weren't. So that's the reason why it's a damn goal. It's a high level offensive play with some give with the luck against a medium level defense. That's why it's a goal. So now try to see if you can understand how I'm trying to like break it down. For anybody, if you're new, well, that's just, you're gonna have to try to figure out what I'm doing. Again, this ain't gonna be one of those live streams that really is gonna appeal so much to many. So face off win. Routes, not too much speed, but you saw where they were generally going. Trying to go in, take it myself, go offside. That generally, obviously, because it's unsuccessful. Trap. How were they doing? They gave space. This is space being given. They had one guy pursue the puck. Should have been. It's like a high. I don't even know. Medium against mid. And it's a 50-50 when you do that. Because he could have lost it, or maybe we didn't. If we didn't go outside, would have had it. So, but because of just the way it was. So pressure there with support. Back up the other way quick. Now there's a slight rotation. Nice. So that's what I would call pretty solid level break in. The back check. Not sure what this guy's doing. He could have labeled. Well, that's not good on this guy's part, I would say. Shot, nothing really there. What's up, Sergei Bobrovsky? Trap defense, follow them. That's high against mid from them. Broken play, mid against mid. Almost had it there. I generally want to just look at the wingers now. I'm not going to look too much at the defense and center. Got it. Finds the space, finds the pass, shot. Where they at? He generally lost it, but that's red. Trying to find a pass. Back check, shot. You saw exactly where green went. Goes support, goes back to the point, cuts off that lane. because of the support from blue, allows essentially the defenseman here. You could have drove in a little bit, found maybe a wide passer. I guess he can just take a shot if he wants. Not quite high level on their end. Forecheck. He's in his face, and he backs off. Because the forecheck initially didn't work, so he's not going to try pushing it again. Trap. And 2 guys failed. They go in, but how did that... They weren't doing anything special. They just kind of went in. Like, I guess that move is good enough to slice by. Cuts in, made another 2 guys miss. Green tries to support. We still have this... Oh, no, we lost twice there. So defense on our end is sort of like a low mid. Low medium? Maybe? I'm going to call it that. Against what I would call, I guess, a mid performance on them, because they actually did do a pretty decent... That's how they were able to get to here. And I guess the give was just sort of the recover aspect after. Again, this probably won't make any sense at all. I'm going to try my best to sort of explain it a little bit later. But I'm just basically... What I'm trying to do is establish, like, baselines, like what the overall grade levels that I would kind of give based on what both teams are doing and why the end result is as it is, because that would actually help a team figure out what their issues are. Because, you know, when you talk about a team that is able to go, like, you know, 7 when it gets a team 7-0, offense is clicking, and then they lose 5-0 to a team while still looking relatively the same, how does that happen? It's not that the team didn't play up to par, I don't think, all the time. Could be that, but it also could be something different. It's honestly common sense a little bit, but, like, you got to also know the other side of the coin, I guess, to determine that. And you have to determine it accurately. The other side of the coin being the team you're facing and what they're doing. What's up, Jay? What's your gamer tag? It's same as the TikTok name and YouTube. So actually that goal, I want to go back to that, because that was actually a decent move. Play here, broken play. I would even call that even just a well, not bad, but I mean, why did he stop? Why did bro stop? He goes here. We're caught in like oh no, we got 1 2 3 4 5. How did that even happen? Oh, because we went down low here. So it's kind of man-to-man coverage on my end. Tight the gap. Can't exactly let inside leverage happen, so he's a free entry to the outside. This is why trap, right? When you like talk about the trap necessarily, right? Let's go for a second. Trap defense, right? If I'm playing one-on-one, I can't go for the sit. Probably could, because you've got the inside here. So I do have free range to do that. But, I mean, why throw it, I guess? You could. I could send the... And you also got the back shoot from that, and they don't have necessarily too much. The thing is there, they could take... I could go for a hit and miss. They could take a slap shot, go around. This guy can get it, and then it's like, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of playing the odds. Based on what you want to sort of see. Like, he's got nothing here. We've got eventually the back check that could play. I could eventually push. I could have pushed there, actually. But you see, if he's not going to continue on, there's nothing that my job that I have to do that's super difficult. I literally had one guy back check, and this guy just stops for what? Because I don't go for him? Like, what is he stopping for? It's nothing that we did fancy, so they just don't know how to challenge a defense too much. So then he gets it, right? And he's already by the D because everybody's thinking offense. You got one guy. He wasn't able to get there. It's just a quick shot, a snipe, close quarters. Goalie played a little too deep, in my opinion, even though that's how they usually play. I feel like goalies should, play a little bit further than that, no? Like, why is it they're always so deep? I feel like they can just get... They can easily get beat on the corners when that happens. But it's like, okay, if I were to go back to that defensive play again, as much as like it's a very simple play, it's sort of like based on how you know your team, you could consider that a high level defensive play, which isn't, but some probably could say that because it's like, well, you didn't get beat, you did your job defensively, A+. But like, I could have been anybody. I could have been what you would call a decent guy, right? A medium guy, mid guy, and could still pull off that same move. That doesn't necessarily make me high level because I just didn't get beat. And the real challenge comes when guys can challenge your overall skill level to a point. There's a piss poor break in on me. Could be a pass there. Could just be a reset. Or it could be me trying to drive outside. But he's already by the blue line. I'd have to send it to him. So overall, the break-in was kind of like mid to almost low there because it's only feeding off one guy. Trying to find speed that one way. And that's a good solid break-in can go in many different ways. Overall, though, let's take a look third period. 3-3. Because they score a few times, but last 10 minutes. Kind of blindly looking at this. I do remember kind of looking at it briefly. I think this is when you're deep into a game. You sort of understand the tendencies of your team. Let's figure out what's going on here. So quick move up. I mean, is it a good break-in on me? No. I could have skated more. Allowed Green to potentially get just on a cut on his own instead of with the puck. Because he immediately gets it, pulls it. That's solid move. He's able to go on or by 50-50 there, and he does eventually lose it. So the defenseman there was able to match him, and then he played the 50-50 that way. I over pursue there big time. But back the other way, 3-on-2. That's just the way the bounces. I mean, not everything you can give a grade to, because I just feel like when the puck bounces, that's going to put guys into a weird spot. I would say high level offensive play because he recognized the two guys here, baited them essentially to move this way to find a 1T shot right here. So when you find those chances offensively, that tailors more towards a high level style of play that not every defenseman can actually do. And that's also, as much as that may not have needed to necessarily happen because the defense were baited regardless, being able to skate with the puck by time, even against a high level play, would be the real test for somebody like that to determine exactly how far ahead he actually is. Because you can't really judge it based off anything lower than your skill set. You have to compare it kind of evenly almost. So could have played it better. I was there, but that's sort of what I would call mid to a low mid. This guy doesn't do anything special. He just kind of skates. It's not doing a head fake or anything. He's just kind of skating. He gets by, finds the back door. So as much as I was there, I wasn't. Play OG, I do. I took off this season because I can't make certain days, but I'm looking to get back into it next 25. Is it there? Shot and score. So this is like, okay, wait, actually, hang on. This is actually way bigger than it is. So limited time and space almost. Lost the puck there. Hang on. Poke check. Hang on, is the let me see something. Am I at low lands here or no? Either that or I might be, I'm not sure. Not sure how far ahead I am or not compared to the chat. That would be a problem if we're trying to talk about something. All right, but anyway, here's sort of what we could compare. Let me see. There, somebody who may know he doesn't have that would probably pull away quicker, which means he could turn that into a high level play if he wanted to, or if he was, you know, able to, essentially. Notice what happens with green here. He goes in, stops, right? He's not going to continue on. He makes this guy miss. I mean, that simple move, he's able to even go in and find a pass back to the point. He doesn't even try to dish it off or shoot it or anything like that. Send it around the boards. He's able to, he bought himself time by slowing down, making the guy miss, then finding the pass back to the point. And then it's a shot here for a tip score. So that was started from green. And then obviously the rest handles itself. Not something I would think the normal person could actually do. Because what's actually happening is, like, you know, we get to these points and we actually get hit. We don't actually are able to create space like this. Or it's not as easy. Like, he doesn't have to do much here. He just sort of goes in, skates, finds the pass. Maybe if somebody went and tried to hit him, that would have been different, but that didn't happen. He just took the ice that was there. So, like, wouldn't necessarily call it high level, but it's getting there because of his patience with the puck. And then this turns into, I would call this more of like a just a medium, depending on where it's at, high, mid, shot, tip. I mean, that's all you need when the team isn't really giving you much and you've got two guys basically kissing each other right next to each other. I mean, that's, you don't make a triangle with defense this way and think that what we did was amazing because of the defense that we were facing. You know what I mean? That's sort of the problem that I feel like I'm starting to get, because once I see like how piss poor the other team is actually playing, I'm not exactly one to feel so great about how we're playing, because we're not actually playing against a high level team. So when we get stats and we pad the stats and we pad them again, we have to look at who the fuck we're playing. And if we can't like determine like, yeah, it really wasn't up to par with how we were playing, then it's not a true telling of a team, and it really doesn't mean that we actually looked better, if that even makes sense. So when I look at this, right, this is NHL LG last season that I played, so just proof that I played LG basically. Playing right D, I want to look at the wingers. Shot there. Going in for the body check, run the power play, so pressure's obviously going to be there. He goes right there from cutting in, taking a shot. Had limited time there, got the shot off. Moved the puck quick. Play here. Down low. Doesn't take the shot. Doesn't have the time and space, it looked like. Buys time, tries to find a play. So notice where these guys go to. Kind of goes there. Somebody's going to go down low. Somebody's going to work up high. He's going to try to find a play that way. Wasn't able to quite work. But it's the rotation that looked nice. Could find an outside there. Power play. I'm not even sure what was bro doing there. Not trying to hold. I guess this is how they play defense. Or maybe he's trying to recover because he got hit. Could be that. I'm not entirely sure. But I feel like a free entry on the PK doesn't really make too much sense because you're already down a man. So I feel like you should be holding blue line no matter what. But I guess that's what you see in the NHL, huh? And this is Nuge that we're playing too, right? So this is a high-level defenseman. This other guy, I don't think is up to par. Because I think, was that the guy who was back? Yeah. But notice what he does with the puck too. So he's not going to clear it, not going to clear it. Sort of, you know, he doesn't panic when that guy's going after him. Bounces off the boards, makes the guy miss. Bounces off the boards again, made me miss, and the other guy. Now he's around the bend, tries to find a backdoor feed. So he played the 50-50 on that based on how we were covering. Because we did match the covers that they did, and then some, potentially, but that wasn't necessarily to what he was actually trying to find. That's what I would call a high-level defensive play on Nuge. I've seen some of his gameplay before. He is an esports defenseman. Fakes the shot, finds somebody else. Quick play up. Now look at the wingers. He's gonna delay, finds. I mean, how did they take off like that? I honestly don't get it. It's got to be something I'm missing. Could be skating style. Maybe I am wrong about that. But the guy goes from a delay. Actually, the guy did poach check twice, so he's already gonna be at pretty much a standstill. He like delays, creates space to then where he can then just straight line forward. Straight line, find backdoor score. Like, that's would be bottom of a high grade that I would give considering how the defense was. It was 2v2. He didn't need to go above and beyond. He just did the simple play that looked quite nice. And it's not something that the average guy can do as a forward when they see that type of coverage. But it is a high level play because you don't see many guys do it. What they were going to try to find there, right, was a cut play, which I don't understand that. It was already matched. So you're playing off, I guess, a low percentage of that going in. This guy tries to go back and forth. Teal matched it, was able to play a 50-50, and it still goes to the guy, but that's, you know, what happens in this game. Back to the point. Control. He's going to find down low. He's going to turn back, shoot short side. The defense we had, kind of mid compared to their mid, I guess. This is a song I got playing on. I don't even know. All right. So he panicked. That's what I would consider panicking with the puck, is when the guy did that and he does something that he doesn't need to do, but he doesn't actually have, I guess, the skill set to have confidence in his ability to actually control it. Not sure why he was thinking he can make a pass back to who, but he tried it anyway. He could have bought a lot of time doing what he did, but he didn't. And then the winger steps up, spins off him. You see how, like, decisive his cuts are? This is a high. This is an esports winger as well. His, like, cuts almost allow him to accelerate very quickly. I don't know what's going into that. Is it just low ping? Is it like what is it? Because you know, makes the guy miss here, controls, can cut, works it back. Like, he bought time for two guys to get baited down low, then he makes a pass back at the point. Find the pass across, shot, looking for a tip, rebound in a good spot. Like, the end result didn't really end in like a super high percentage shot, but it was one that was, you know, sort of getting there, because I would say shots from the point that are deflected probably count higher than just simple shots that go off the pad that a goalie can see, because they're not necessarily high percentage, but they have a better chance of it going in, obviously, if it's tipped. So they're gonna work it back. Didn't have the rush there. Nuge is gonna try to control. He finds an outside pass, so he controls back, buy time, finds an outside. That's, I would consider that high level, because what he did was he found a winger that was essentially in the zone with relative speed. Doesn't have to always be full speed, but I feel like relative speed, and he had a lot of time or a lot of space. So Nuge created the break in high level, at a high level. The winger didn't do anything with it. So he did either, I would consider that grade from the winger to be about low mid to possibly low rating, because he didn't do anything with it. He had much time with it. He didn't do anything with it. But it doesn't discredit the break-in opportunity. Pass there. Two guys sort of in the same area. The other team matched it, so it didn't work. We lost it. So we backchecked enough. Green did his work there. Teal had time to make a play. Could have passed it, didn't. Lost it. That's a bad on Teal. And then was able to find it. Still lost it. They make a pass. We're sort of all over the place, you can sort of see, but pass there, that's just never going to work. Yeah. I don't quite know. This should be a pass to one of us. Reset the play. You have essentially Red trying to break it out himself. This is why you don't see, especially at esports, you don't see centers ever doing this. I'm not sure if he just doesn't have the you know, confidence in us, but this is never going to work either unless the other team is really bad at it. I mean, this is easy. It's matched and then some because it's an on there. It's a 2-on-4. You're just not going to win it unless you can somehow improvise enough. But there's a reason guys don't do that, and it's never seen in esports. There's a pass in front. I missed that by a mile, but that's 4 guys going down low. So this is a low grade from us because it's a dump and chase. Almost had to pick there, couldn't. So really bad on me if you really look at it from an individual standpoint. It's like definitely low percentage on me, at least in that case. That's sort of that. Let's go back to now. We got Jimmy back in, and now I'm playing center again. Now we're playing against Devotion. Dump and chase wasn't really effective. It's not really that much of a high level play either way. I don't know too much about dump and chase, like a sauce and chase like that, unless it's like clear as day you can get it. So I wouldn't know how to put that into like a grade format, because like it's just easily matched is what it is. And I don't really think it's much that they're doing besides simply skating. You could call that low, I guess, because it's not really, we're not in the zone. We never really got it, so we never, you know, it's not a successful grab. And what did they do? They didn't really. We have, yeah, this is a bad here from the defensive side. Not really too much on yellow, but it's more so on teal. He's just not man marking that, and therefore he sauces it up. It's not even like a very intensive break in that way. Actually, he did back check enough, so not enough stamina on the other team. Poke check and then match the other way. Quick find up with speed and almost had it. The goalie stopped it there. Another slap shot play that this time teal does match, and he was able to find it. Sauce off the boards. Good job there, finding the space. Using the boards there. Definitely could have had. We definitely have a lot of ice here. Or actually, we don't. Well, we do. We have a bunch of ice here. Bunch of ice. There could be. There's a lot of plays that should be able to develop this way. Drives in, like, loses it, essentially. So you can grade an individually, like an individual standpoint on that versus what they were doing, which wasn't much of anything. It was like combining, what do you call, I guess, low, medium to low grade or something, like overall. Poke check matched. How did that even develop? I mean, that's a good man mark. Finds it too. Now I feel like it doesn't have to be a move this way. The cam gets in the way, but there's a lot of ice to this left side. I mean, if you're a defenseman, you can maybe work that way. If your intent is to get it up quick, you could always just circle back around the net too. Goalie doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I don't even know how to give that a grade, really. It's just kind of taking what's there. I mean, it'd be like an F on the goaltender. Slap shot play again, and again, it's man marked this time. So we saw it where it worked, where they're like trying to send that pass, and then the few times after, it's a improvement from the defenseman. So that's a good grade there. Like, you're learning from the mistake. It's not like, it's not a matter of necessarily the lows of the low. It's the averaging of those lows versus what you do to match it or to go higher than it, to improve on it. This is a good take there from Yellow. He goes right in, makes his 3, 4, 5 guys. He makes the whole team miss. He just couldn't get it. So that's where you would get to. I mean, actually, if you would have to compare how the defense was at that point. Did he need to do much to get by? Like, if he had to do a head fake here, an LT move there, and toe drag here, and he had to do, he had to do all these skillful moves to get by, then that'd be different. Like, these guys are skating, they're not even really going for the hit. Like, he misses, he's not even poke checking. Is he gonna play defense, number 94? Are you gonna try? No, he just tries to go for the hit late. It's like, it's a good move, but against a team that isn't defending well. Try to do that against a team that will stop you at the blue line. That is the difference here. We would look at that and be like, wow, he's really going in. But in reality, he really isn't, because the team just isn't playing proper defense. right? Like, am I thinking that's... I mean, because obviously you're not going to look at that fast pace. So it'd have to be something you break down afterwards. Because you're not going to care about what the other team's doing. You're only going to be looking at what your team is doing and what maybe you're not doing to either win or lose, like, whatever the friggin' score is. If it looks high level, it doesn't mean it is high level. That is what I'm trying to sort of get by here. So again, if you're just new to the stream, it's kind of like one of those weird streams. I'm not really going to be concerning too much about, you know, chat so much. It's kind of more like we're trying to figure out things for the team. We're trying to play esports. We're trying to figure out if this is even a lineup that's even going to be playing in, I guess, 2 months. And we're going to try to figure out, I guess, from a gameplay standpoint, if we can somehow get on the same page with things, because we're not on the same page at all. Where else? I'm streaming on YouTube as well. So if you would rather watch it there, it's definitely obviously more full screen for you. Builds are the best. Thanks, man. How does one play in esports? So it's through LG. If you know the website of leaguegaming.com or the Discord for LG. There's events that are posted usually on the top, and there'll be like open signups. You can sign in your team and play it. Yeah, the website definitely does suck, I will say, but you just have to sort of, you know, learn to navigate through it. Like once you kind of familiar, like, you know, kind of get used to it, it looks pretty good. All right, so I think, all right, this is actually where I'm gonna turn it back to the start. There is a particular play that I want to go over that appears more high level than we think it is, even though actually it doesn't. It's not necessarily the end result that leads it to that sort of grade, I guess. PHL, I think I have heard of it. I don't know how you sign up for that. Is that through the Bufflin Discord? Because I know he's got like a bunch of other like leagues that you could join. Yeah, I haven't played in any other league besides LG. All right, let's see. Fast forward to this, because eventually they do go up 2-0 here. This is the first game that we played. So Cole, honestly, bro, we're in kind of a pickle. I'm not even sure. Doing okay, but we're not quite on the same page with some things. Okay, it's not this. There's a goal somewhere. They go 2-0 there. I actually just want to see the goal, to be honest. All right, this isn't exactly what I was trying to get to, but it is actually something that I would consider. Yeah, so this is a difference here. This goal goes in. This is actually, I would consider this a high percentage shot because of the way it's formatted. High percentage there because of where it's at and the angle and the fact that the goalie has to go from the right post to the left very quickly. That could result in a save, but it has to be stopped from a defensive standpoint. So if I'm looking at Teal, right, you got the guy in front there, and then it's sort of like we don't anticipate this pass. But this is a pass that is done a lot. This is a shot that is done a lot. This is a high-level offensive zone play from them that we don't match. And that's the reason why it's 2-0. We don't see it because we don't actually realize it. Every time I see somebody park themselves, essentially on the goal line, and I'm playing on that side, I know to immediately attack that. Because you essentially have to. Because otherwise they're going to do this, and it's going to be a goal almost every time. The goalie doesn't really, he can't really do much about that. I don't really know. From a, maybe Ty could tell me, or Cole could tell me, if this is something that they could save. But I don't think from a goaltender standpoint, there's much that you could do, especially the fact that he has to go from the right post to all the way to the left, or get to the point where he can maybe get a glove on it. It's just from a weird angle that will go in. That will go in. That is a high level matching with what I would call a mid, and it's clear to me why it's a goal. Because you're essentially, it's a whole tier better in its grade, essentially. Like, if it's a whole tier better, then it will be successful unless something happens where it's like a missed shot or something. Where's the goal? I'm trying to find the goal, though. That's a good defensive play. Had the support, too. Here, find the pass. Good play. All right, it might be somewhere near here. Working it back down low. Lost it, had time. Could have done something with it, didn't. Eventually, there's a play I will get to. This is a good match right here. So we're forechecking like crazy. Probably unnecessary if you're blue in this chance, because I don't think you need to go so far to the left side. I don't... Did we see that from the LG game? Like, if it's here, I feel like you would only do it to a degree. You miss there. I mean, maybe you'd want to go for it. I think once this is created, I mean, they're obviously not going to go back the other way, so I guess you could still press the action, but it just doesn't really make sense. Imagine they go past like here, 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 and he's there. You know what I mean? Like how quick it could be if a team was better. What is the speed that they have? They have absolutely no freaking speed in this play. It doesn't make sense. But what happens is, like, it's nothing that we're doing. We obviously don't have a trap, but we have a trap to one side. So it's like a mid versus, like, I guess a better mid, because we get the puck. And the way we get it is we're man marking. I guess we were almost man marking this guy here, and then I'm man marking that through the middle. He doesn't. I'm literally putting my freaking back to him. There's nowhere he can go with the puck. That's matching it to a certain extent based on what they're dishing. Can you explain defensive puck lane steal positioning? I feel like I'm there, but it always goes through me. It's kind of just dependent on if your guy has two hands on his stick, looking at the puck, seeing the puck go through. You know, like if your guy's all turned around, you have one hand on your stick, not looking. The puck has a chance of going through. If you're in a turn, the puck has a chance of going through. If your blade of your stick is not where the blade of them receiving that puck, like if it's not in the same spot, it has a chance of going through, and you're not inside leverage. Like, it's just kind of, your guy has to see it, and you have to be as close as you can with the blade of your stick to their blade, to where they're going to get that puck. If you're not there, you're slightly ahead of them, you're behind them. Your guy's not just going to, manually like adjust his like position to get that. And pucks will still go through in this game. But this is a good play here. This is actually the first goal, so it's okay. The break-in, I mean, again, this shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't happen, especially if red is taking that puck, right? This is me taking it. I take it, instead of rotating it back, I mean, I guess, right? Because they already have kind of like whatever. They have 4 guys back. Like, I guess the way I made the pass late was enough to create enough space. Because that is something worth noting. And actually, okay, that pass there is actually what did it. So that's actually more high level than we think. And then improvise, find the cut play. That's another cut play technique. So he goes in, watch. Actually, this is actually way more high level than we think it is. See, we don't think this is high level, or at least the initial look. This shouldn't work, but it did. Why? Because of the way he made that cut. There, just on the other side of that guy, he was able to create space that way, and he didn't take any time to make this pass bang. Or I guess he lost it. I don't know if that was a poke check, but that's playing the 50-50. If he was to make that pass, it makes sense why that went through. If the puck just goes to him because of the poke check, then that's just the weird 50-50 being played. You're not exactly matching them perfectly, but you're there. Green takes on the outside, looks for a backdoor feed that doesn't work. He turns the other way here. What blue does, he just cuts in. This is actually piss poor defensively from them because they're not seeing that cut the other way. And it's a tying pass to that. it is, I would say, borderline a low mid or a low high level player. I'm actually going to show you guys exactly what I mean when I say those types of terms. I'm saying low, mid, and high. Where's the second goal at? Because this is actually even better. So what happens is, right? Good pass. Green's got time. He's got time. He's got time. Cut back again. Cut again. And he makes a pass there. To another cut, essentially, to find... I mean, he should have had that, right? But it didn't. To a 1T to the slot. That was created off 1, 2, 3 different moves to get 2 guys off the guy. The guy could have post check, played it better. He didn't. Made the pass. And even if he did, who knows, right? If that puck would have even, you know, left his stick. Make the pass to somebody who's cutting to the out to essentially create space from the defender. I actually originally thought this was tighter. Because if it was, it would have been even more silky of a pass than we think. Let's say this guy was right here and I'm making this cut and this pass is delivered on time, which it is, right? So like it's the space being created from the very minimal window of time. Because maybe 10 gets it if it's any time after that point. Get the pass, curl, find a cutting blue again for a slot shot that goes in. That's more high level than we think it is. Those are 2 back-to-back goals that are way more high level than we think it is. Or I guess, well, because they were goals, right? They looked pretty high level looking at it fast paced. But when you look at it, the individual performances, these are both what you would call, I guess, borderline hitting the green every time. But the defense, they're there, but they're not. The reason is, let me see if I can even showcase it. Something I created. Let's see, do I even have it? Hopefully I do have it. I do have it. This is something I call, I guess, if you've been around here before, we've often, I've kind of like referred to the talent of like the whole community as a whole as like the spectrum of talent, right? You've got the highs and lows, right? This is high and low. If I were to say compare the highs and lows, what would that even mean? Right? What is a low? What is a high? To me, this ranges from, this entire chart ranges from, you're down here, you're a very beginner. You pick up the game for the first time. Brand new beginner to all the way to you're competing and winning in LG or in esports. You're playing the main division. You're playing esports. That's what is up here. That's the tip of the top. You got Entourage, Scary Hours, all them guys. They're all the way up here. Because they've set the bar, essentially. And everybody down here is kind of you're brand new, you're starting off, you're whatever. Casual to comp, right? And you kind of progress up as you get better. Everybody who's casual, they're kind of ranging, you know, casual. You can even say a casual could probably go to this extent. I guess, right? But we won't actually grade that yet. When we talk about like a high percentage shot, for example, if I were to say like what is considered a high percentage shot, I would refer to like 1Ts or like whatever, like cut plays, behind, you know, goal line passes. Those are high percentage. Why? Because they have a high chance of going in. Because of where they're being taken and how they were set up and essentially, you know, the angle of like the shot, where it's being shot, all that has a high percentage of it going in. A low percentage shot would be like, all right, I'm going to take a low shot for a rebound, a shot from like a weird angle, like from the boards, just kind of doing whatever. It's like a low percentage because it's just not, it doesn't have a chance of it going in, really. It's not designed to, I guess, or maybe it is, but it's just low. So you could sort of compare that to like certain plays. You can actually compare it to every single thing that we do and give grades that way. So like, let's see. what is considered a high level offensive play from a player? We'll actually look at it from like an individual standpoint. If somebody was going to be here, or somebody that does something, I guess, in this range, what would that be? It would be like, all right, I'm going to, you know, go in, do a little couple moves, break a few, you know, hits, whatever. And then you get to the, you know, you get to the goal and you score, essentially. Like the Connor McDavid plays where everybody's on you. And you're able to kind of move through everybody and score. Like that's high level. You don't see everybody doing that every single day. Right? That would be offensively. Defensively, you could say 2-on-1 defense, where you baited, you know, you were defending. You got two guys going up. You bait the pass and you like completely just intercept and like disrupt the play. You end it. You just played it perfect. That's high, what we would consider high level defense. You could do that for everything. Making a pass, defending, coverage, neutral zone play, everything. You could do it for a team perspective as well. So if a team, how are they playing in the offensive zone? How are they playing in the neutral zone? How are they playing in the defensive zone? You could give ratings based on that, based on how the team is doing. So, for example, a high-level break-in, which would be through the neutral zone with the puck, would be the team is able to do whatever they have to do to break it in and basically find a player with time and space and essentially with relative speed into the zone. So when I was referring to Nuge, let me see, I'm not sure if I can find it, or maybe it wouldn't even matter. When I was referring to Nuge in the LG game, when he was skating, found a wide pass, a winger with a lot of time and space, that's high level because he was able to find the guy essentially with a lot of space, a lot of time, and with relative speed into the zone. That's a break-in, a successful break-in. Right? A low level break-in would be like you're not even in sync, you're just kind of passing it up, and somebody's like slow moving and they're just kind of going in with not really a purpose. Like don't have speed, they don't have much time, or even if they did, it's not really that good. It's just low level. Right? That's just break-ins. You could do it for the trap. So the trap, what would consider to be a high-level trap, would be essentially you got five guys exactly where they need to be. You got wingers on the boards, forcing the play in. You got everybody kind of covering the middle in their lane, and you're essentially limiting the time and space of the opposing team. And they're essentially not really able to get into the zone because they have nothing. Or even if they had speed, it's completely shut down because of how you guys are managing the lanes and their space. That's high level. Low level would be you're not even where you need to be. It would almost be essentially like Blues on the opposite side of the ice. You've got Teal that like wants a forecheck, or Red forechecks, and now you guys are not holding blue line, and the team's able to just easily get into the zone. That would be a low level trap, right? So compare the highs and lows. If you go to the offensive zone, it would be like what I was saying, finding the 1Ts, finding the cut plays, controlling, buying time, you know, increasing the time on attack, essentially controlling the offensive zone and finding the high percentage shots. And then the high level defense would be vice versa. Obviously, the team is able to stop everything that the other team is doing. They limit the time and space. They're there. They're right there. Let me actually give you an example of what I mean by a high level defense. Because it could just be the coverage, and it could also be just a lot of... Actually, I guess I could have gone here. NHL 23. How to play defense? I don't even know what I called it. It was this. I actually showed this to a few guys before. Let me fast pace it. This is from 23. Don't exactly know where it's at. Okay, I think it's right here. So this is what I would consider more high level. Why? Because look where everybody's freaking at. Watch as this play develops, actually. Because support there, working the back, Blues on his ass. You've got support from Green. Then he goes to the point, limits the cut in play from a defenseman. You see a lot of defensemen go from this point and they cut in this way because of a miss press. How often that happens. He's limiting the time and space. But look at what happens here. I paused it when I was breaking it down then. If you remove the icons, you know exactly where every single player is playing. Now, also, it's also because of them making like an X shape too, right? You got your center, winger, defense, right? It's easy to see that obviously where we're playing based on where they're at. But it's not really always the case because teams are always doing this too. You know he's got him, you know he's got him, you know he's got him, he's got him, he's got him. And we're all anchoring the inside. This is as perfect as it could get to the extent that you're trying to, I guess, close the gap on somebody's plays. Maybe. But you don't need to do that because they're not doing anything to force the action. If they can't find a 1T, if they can't find the cut play, if they can't find... then there is no reason to even try and get away from this formation. Now, what even happens? Do they even get... do they even eventually get a shot? I think they actually do. Because what is this other team doing? Now you have to also then match... All right, is what we're doing... does it actually stop them from doing what they're trying to do? Because they got goal 1Ts on both sides. They can maybe try to find like a goal, you know, a wide 1T here, but maybe Teal could press the action and stop that, right? Could have been maybe a 1T there, but he's there. The pass is there. Maybe he could read it. He can always go to it. Pressure from there. And then I think we actually do get away a little bit from our coverage because we actually do press the action there. We get the puck. Pochak still goes to them, so it's like a 50-50. What they did was they went in, made a guy miss, which is the reason why things start to open up. Pass there. We're still in decent coverage, actually. And it's sort of like the 50-50 that they win. They don't get too much from that. It's not like a rebound or a very... I mean, you could say that first shot was high, I guess high percentage because it was a slot shot. They didn't get anything after that. Same thing on that man mark there as they were trying to do a spin. And I closed off the lane there. We also have closing lanes on the driving technique, you know, on the cut play. You see where everybody's at. And it's just relative to what is their high percentage look that they're trying to find, and we're matching it. So it's still high level defense to the point of matching what the other team is also providing. It's still considered on the chart a high level defensive play that I would give. It's high level. It's somewhere around here because it's actually pretty decent. It's just the reason it's not at the tippity top is because we couldn't stop it from them generating a shot. But what they were doing, I wouldn't say was necessarily in the same region. You could call this somewhere around here, maybe, on what they were doing. But that would mean that their one less tier was somehow still able to beat this. Now, you could chalk that up to that being NHL 23 tuners giving them an advantage when the game bullshits us, right? When we complain about, oh, the game screwed us again. We're talking about this type of play where it's a whole tier higher than what we were actually doing. So when we often say, oh, I should have had that, you have to be very specific on exactly how high of a level you're actually playing compared to the talent that you were just facing. So when you make the assumption that you were up here and they're like realistically playing down here, that far of a jump doesn't make sense. It doesn't. You're actually not playing to that height. You're actually playing somewhere down here, possibly even down here, and they were at least ahead of you on that play. Now, that last play, we started here. You could say we eventually moved here because of a missed check. That's how quick it could turn into it being less. And they were actually somewhere here with it. I wouldn't actually go that far. I think it maybe went here and it really went down here somewhere. Because they didn't do anything spectacular to get by. Now, what we have to also understand is what does it take to go here and what does it take to go here? These are two different jumps. What does it take? What do we think it takes to go from a low, I guess, a low level of play to a medium level play? And notice that I actually have the yellow is actually a little bit greater than the height here and the height here. If you actually look at it, the yellow is bigger because I actually do think the level of play, a lot of people are somewhere in this region and everybody else is sort of like, you know, it doesn't take much to go from low to, I would say, here. But it definitely takes a lot to go from here to up here. That is what I would think would be a bigger height difference. But what is it? I would think people would think that if you're decent, they would think you're like here. I would disagree. I think decent is the margin right here. Once you start becoming a decent player, you're moving from the red to the yellow. People give the mark here. I think it's right down there. So when you think that like, oh, he's decent, he doesn't really play the trap well. He doesn't really, you know, skate into the zone with speed. He doesn't really, you know, control the puck with a lot of, you know, effort, whatever. Like he doesn't really control. He doesn't have too much skill, but he's like decent. He's like, you know, he knows how to play defense. He knows how to be there. He knows how to make a play once in a while. That is all to me right here. And I think a lot of people don't actually think that that's what it means to be decent. But that is my grade level to be decent, in my opinion. Right? So what does it take to be up here? I think anything from here on, if you average that, you're esports level bound. I think that's what it is. I think beginning to the green on average, now because that's what I'm trying to talk about. It's not necessarily like you make a play and you're always making plays down here. It's like you can make sometimes these really high level plays, but you make a whole lot of low level plays to balance that out. You're actually not making too many high level plays, and to actually be here, you're not really making anything further than probably the beginning margin of getting to the high. You're not making anything up here. You're not. I don't think you're doing anywhere near that. You're going probably to the very tippity top. You make a one decent play every once in a while. You get to the tip of the green, but you're not actually in the green because of that one play. You don't just average that. You're making a lot of low level plays, maybe perhaps medium level plays, and you're sort of getting into that sort of margin. In my opinion, you know, like these are all strictly my opinions. When it comes to the miscommunication of what we're actually playing against, I think it's because we believe we're playing higher than we actually are. So, yeah, is there any thoughts? Anybody from Hackpack that would want to chime in? Is there anything, any type of discussion that we would want to try to give? Because let's see here. If I were to really think about it, if I was to say compare our highs and lows, this is what I was talking about when now, Chad, you guys may not notice. You know, we're having obviously many conversations. This isn't necessarily gonna like impede in those conversations too much because it's really just where we think we currently sit. So there's nothing like super private getting out. I'm not gonna like dissect the whole damn team down. But I'm just going to try to give an average of where I think we are. But I would love to see first, before I give my average, what is your guys' average of this team currently? Is there anybody in chat right now that is on Hackpack? Can you guys give me a grade and where you guys think this is? Because if I were to give it, oh wait, what does that say? I'll send it easier to see. Oh yeah, my cam's actually covering what it actually says over here. It's actually casual comp. I probably should have moved my freaking cam over, but this is like what it is, the spectrum of talent. What's up, Nick? What's up, Sable? This is what I would call the spectrum of talent. Now, the thing is, right, this bar could be applied to pretty much anything. If I was to really say what I think the highs and lows are, right? Like, the thing about this isn't as small. Like, there's a big difference from being like here to even like right here. What the hell happened to the damn and what did I go from the pencil mode? I don't even know what I did. Oh my gosh, what happened, dude? What do you mean try it for free, dude? Okay, there we go. I got like some weird things going on with the Epic Pen. I would like to see what you guys think. Now again, there's nothing that like like you guys gotta understand that, like when I'm trying to like grade us, there's absolutely zero like anger to it or feeling to it. Here's what I'll say like the average level of people typically are. If you're a casual, you're like here, kind of like what I said. If you're a high level player, like there's a difference between, I think, let's see, what is the percentage of people playing it? Because I think this is what it's where it's at. But there's, as much as people may hate me saying this, I think the majority of people fall in this category. If you're a casual, obviously, right? You play the game, you're not going to be as competitive. But there are some guys that do turn out as decent. I think if you're a competitive guy, you sit somewhere. I mean, it just depends on the average, I guess. I feel like, I can say for me, I feel like I'm in between yellow and red. I'm more red. But that just, yeah, it just comes down to the reps. Now, again, where do I see us? All right, so, okay. The only way I can give a certain rating is based on who we have in, right? So if we have Jimmy in, this is obviously no offense to Jimmy, or no offense. I guess just take it as it is. At this point, I can't really, you know, if it's we're getting pissed at how I'm saying it. I mean, there's no other way to fucking say it, to be honest. We're not down here. I don't know why I keep switching, dude. It's like the lead or something. I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's like it being reset. But regardless, you guys can fucking see it. We're not down here as much as, you know, that's not what I'm saying. I think there's a way bigger difference to being like what people would say mid. When they actually talk about mid, they're actually talking about this. But people say mid because they think they're up here, right? When people like claim that or something. What I'm saying is, yeah, like we do actually sit somewhere here. If I was to talk about me at center, somewhere around there, you could sort of give or take. But that is where we've sort of gotten to right now. Which you do see, though, depending on where we land, right? Could be anywhere. We still do have quite a little bit to get to this point. I do honestly think it would take us, if we wanted to... And it's like not even like we need to necessarily hit it to be considered good. Because I feel like we can enter esports now and maybe do all right. But I don't know about you guys. I want to fucking win the damn thing. You know there's going to be teams competing there. You know there's going to be teams competing in the green as like their average. If that's going to be esports. You know they're going to fucking do that. If we're here and we face them, we're going to lose. First round exit. You just know. Or it's like somewhere, you know, like it's just, you play the chance. Now, I would have to figure out, depending on who we have at center, if I move back to defense, I don't know. When I look at, here's like the difference between me and I guess the rest of you guys when it comes to Wednesday's performance. Again, chat, you guys have absolutely no idea when I'm talking about because I didn't stream it. My fucking computer had 4 different updates going. And it kept restarting and then just taking forever. And then on the last update, it decides to stay at 99% for literally 2 fucking hours. And when I go in, I actually lose. I almost lost everything. Everything almost reset for me. And it actually did. I had to re-log into every single website. then on the Streamlabs, everything was fucking deleted. And I was like panicking for a little bit because it would take a long time for me to actually reset everything that I had currently. And then I guess the next day it actually fucking worked, so it actually like reloaded everything back in. So the difference between what we think is happening on Wednesday compared to I guess what I thought my evaluation was on Wednesday, I thought it was good. But like, how would you guys rank the teams that we faced? I don't think our defense is here. Our defense is not low high. I don't agree with that. As much as we want to say that is, I don't think it's the case. We didn't face anybody that could actually test us in that area. I can't give us that rating until I actually see us face against a high level team. What would be the rank of the teams that we faced? You guys have to be honest with me, man. Because this is where it's just that this is where it comes down to. I don't think what we did was anything great because the teams we faced were not there. I mean, yeah, it's tough, but first impressions, like we've been playing this game enough. We know like what feels right and what doesn't. Can you guys not tell when we face a tomato can team? Mid probably. Is that just because like here's the thing, right? The first team you can't even count. You can't. You simply cannot. The first team was horrendous. And then we faced Halls of Valhalla. How was that team? That team was missing 3 starters. The only guys they had were, I think they had 2 guys and then a freaking goaltender. That was from the starting lineup that we played earlier this year, I think. They were missing the damn Wilkesies, whatever the hell they're called. If we're playing here, why are we so hyped then? Because it felt good to pad stats? And then based on that one performance, we could always view on how the center did. I'm not gonna obviously crap it because I would need to see more. No, Wilkesies is their top guy. Wilkesies is their top guy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how we view the guys, because this is another thing I don't like. A lot of guys think that like because their status prior or something was either, you know, here or whatever, low, whatever, or if they're up here, that doesn't mean they're always playing that. We struggled against them before. Why? Was it because we were just here? Which Wilkes? Well, they had like all the Wilkes. It was like Junior Wilkes. Junior Wilkes was the top guy or something. I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. We can't tell if our level was here because like we're saying we had the best offense in a while. How? I understand you guys were scoring and padding the stats and all that kind of stuff, but I was bored playing defense Wednesday. I'm not gonna lie to you. I could literally skate and glide back and I wouldn't have gotten beat against those first 2 teams. Like it was boring to play defense because I didn't feel like I was really offensive at all. Like I played a little bit. I don't think I was really that much of a game changer. I was really just watching what you guys were doing. You guys were just in their face, but everything that they were doing was either here or lower. That's all they were doing, in my opinion. I have no clue if they're related or if they just decided to have the same name. I don't know who any of these guys really are because I've never actually talked to any of these guys. But apparently they've been on the team for 2 years. I mean, obviously, when you look at the outlook between us and them, we obviously are a lot higher than them. Like, because we faced them earlier and we still demolished them like 7-3. We won against them Wednesday 4-1 or something like that, 5-1. I don't even freaking know. They are all brothers? Oh, well, should be better for them, right? But I don't know. Whether they taking a break, whether they're just not good enough, I don't freaking know. But yeah, like nothing that they were doing was anywhere near high level. So it's like, why are we getting hype about that? Because you know that if you make a claim that like, oh, we had the best offense possible, I mean, that it's gonna be a freaking struggle if we were to face teams like that. If they're down here and we are going to eventually maybe face teams that are here, that's gonna be where the problem lies. But obviously, it feels like we do generally know that. I mean, maybe we're there, but we're like, I would say we're somewhere in this region. I would say we probably touch the middle if we're going to talk about averages, low averages and all that. And we do probably have the extent of playing at this level. We're not quite reaching that. So let's also see. There was something else I want to say. I totally forgot about it. I mean, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Where do you think, okay, where do you think the difference is? If we're here, what would make us that? And then if we ever do hit this region, what makes us that? Because if it is it me, like where do I rank if I were to play center? Am I there? Am I there? If I were to play defense, I didn't mean to do that, but if I were to play defense, where do we lie, right? Like that's kind of like the sort of, you know, difference here. And what would be the missing piece to take us to the next level? Because obviously, yeah, we can grind, right? And depending on where the low is or the average, we could probably move up a tier, maybe like there. Maybe. You know, we could probably include all this into one as we have the potential to go from here to there. But like, again, we don't have too much time. What would it take to hit here? Because it isn't like, okay, like I feel like, I mean, I don't know. There's actually nothing really I can say now at this moment. It'd have to be during our conversation. Is there anything you guys want to talk about concerning the team here? When it comes to just anything that you guys want to actually like discuss, essentially. Scrimmaging is the best. Ooh, what's up, Jet Lou? How do we know we don't? Because we don't struggle. We went through the mid teams easy. Why can't we go through? Wait, what? If we went through the mid teams easy, why can't we go through the comp teams? Because the comp teams are playing way higher than what we're seeing. If they play here's what happens too. Like, let's say we had a performance level that was mid, and we faced this on Wednesday. We won every game. It was dominant. We padded our stacks because, or we padded our stats because it's literally that much of a difference. We play an 8 team here, it would be the opposite score. And when we talk about like inconsistencies, for example, like when we talk about like why I had an off day, we went 2, we went 1 and 2, we went 0 and 3, we just didn't have flow. It could just mean that we're used to playing this and we played this tonight. We didn't change. We didn't move. We didn't move from this ground. We just are facing better talent. Clear as day. We're not ready. Like, that's just how it should be said. That's why you can't take one performance, especially when we say, oh, we played very well, but I doubt it'll be very consistent. Yeah, true as day, true as hell, because the talent that we play is going to be inconsistent. But maybe that's why I've never felt good about our level of play whenever like we play and we win a lot, but it's like against these types of teams. I never feel like really good. What I really feel good, and it happens very often, is when we do play to this region and we face a team very similar to that. And it's like overtime, double overtime, triple overtime. And it's like back and forth action. We love it. Great A-level chances. Those games feel fucking good. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel. But that's the thing. You could tell where you're at just from pubs, because you have to be able to also not just gauge your team, but the team that you're playing against. Are they, where do they rank? All right, and that's, yeah, it's kind of tough. Because yeah, you're like used to playing it, but like that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people do get an ego boost from these sessions in which we dominate, and that's not necessarily. I don't think I've ever done that. At least when I understood this sort of scale, and I never put it to a visual standpoint, but like, let's say back in 22 we played like down here, because I don't even think, I mean, probably in 22 we peaked probably like right here in 22. If we were really being honest, we were decent to a certain degree, and then we maybe played a little bit better, but if anybody was here, we would have lost. And those were the teams that would kill it, or any team that was like maybe here would kill us 10-0. Let's see, WHL Buffalo Sabres, even Halls of Valhalla a few times. Maybe they played there, but they surely have not shown that since then. So that was sort of the difference. And we would judge our performance. We would think maybe we're playing down here when we lose 10-0. In reality, we're still playing the same, right? So it's not like when you lose, you beat yourself up. You know, you can still play at a certain degree the same way. Individual skill puts you to a certain bracket. You reach the highest by combining team play and individual play. Well, yeah, but again, again, like if you were here from the start, there's two different ways that I use the scale. One for an individual standpoint and one for a team standpoint. So obviously the team would compare to how everybody else matches this scale individually too, and how they combine with each other with the talent. So you could have somebody who plays here, you could have somebody else that plays there, you could have somebody else that plays there. You have two people that play down here. The team's not going to be as good, right? They're going to drop down because of these two guys. So the team could be here, maybe based on how the chemistry of these guys were. But it's not going to be a complete team against a team that actually does play at this level, i.e. esports, when you have so much chemistry. You reach the top, and you have 5 guys that actually play at that level. Right? Like, that's how it always has been when you compare teams. And that's why natural chemistry can also come into it as well. If 5 guys that all play this but never play with one another, maybe they still have the same mindset on how to play. Sixes is sixes, but you combine talent with it. Yeah, there may not be chemistry. You may drop out because of the chemistry, but you're still high level because you know how to play the game. You could have guys that have tons of chemistry down here that would boost them up with their chem, but they would still not beat a team that has natural chem that plays at the high level individually. So that's what I was referring to when I was saying natural chem, that sometimes people can play at this level and they could join a team and just play right then and there, and then they could just flow right, flow very easily with people. Now, obviously, when you face that high enough talent, if you have a team that plays up here, but they don't have any chemistry, they could hit down here. Well, a team that plays up here and has chemistry with one another will stay up here. Therefore, big jump, this team wins. Well, yeah, you wouldn't know, but you would have to also understand, how does our break-in versus theirs? Are they down here? Whatever. You could sort of indicate that, you can sort of like figure it out. Are they matching us with, or it could be matching us with the defense or something, or offense or something. Like you would have to be able to compare, like, all right, on this rush, we had this level break-in, they had this level trap. That makes it a successful break-in, or it made sense why it was. When a team matches your skill level, it's like force meeting force, right? And now you're playing the 50-50 on who might be stronger or who might just get it. It's like a toss-up almost. But a team that obviously dominates, has more weight behind it, has more skill, would obviously power through, and therefore they win, right? So you have to indicate what is being matched versus what the other team is dishing out. So if a team has a break-in level of that and you match that, your break-in could be anywhere here, but you have to know what that skill is. Yeah, you wouldn't know, but you at least know that if they're dishing out this, you have to know what does it take to hit here, what does it take to hit up here, what does it take to hit all the way the frick up here. If you don't know that scale, that is where I'm getting at. You have to be able to understand the scale for every single thing to sort of understand, hey, this is where we're lacking. And we should be able to tell, guys. I mean, it's not hard to say, hey, we had a nice successful break-in or we didn't. Like, if we obviously don't look nice, you can tell if you're playing like somewhere here or lower on certain rushes. Like, you can just tell, obviously. If you're not playing the spot well, you just know you were down here that play. If you made a great A level play, meaning you made a good pass and you're up here, you know that on that play you played up there compared to what their defense was, which could be anywhere here or anywhere all the way down here, right? But that still doesn't take away from your high level play. You still have to understand what that scale is. It's not a matter of comparison. I mean, it is, but you have to just know what is. Then you have to understand what the gauge is fully. If you can't do that, then that's why you don't know where you're really at. Now, that's exactly what I was saying. If you don't know what you have to work on, and you don't know the scale, you don't really know the talent level yet. You don't really know how high you actually could get. You don't know it yet. It's not like it's a fucking like... Like, it's you know, I don't know. It's like tougher to really respond without really, getting really to it. Because to me, it makes sense for some reason. Yeah, to me, it really does make sense. Because I've seen the esports teams play. Like, hell, like, I broke down how some of these teams were playing, man. How we've been playing for years. Like, I've been doing the work. I understand, like, I'm not going to sit here and say I know every single thing, but just look at the work that I put in to sort of get this sort of knowledge. And I may not even know the sort of the like peak of it. This could be way higher than I actually know. But I at least know up to this point, because I feel like I'm at least that. Or at least at my best, I'm that. I'm still not even hitting the fucking green, in my opinion. If I were to compare myself on my best days, I would say average that. On my best days, I average that. Now, there's some plays where, oh, they're up here. They're really good. They're very good. And then I make really bad plays down here. And then that's what sort of... I don't think I go too far, though. I mean, yeah. If I were to look at that LG play where the puck goes right by and I'm like chasing the left corner, that's a fucking low level play. Like, it's not like bias. It's not like me shitting. It's literally just how it is. Look at it. Don't have like this sort of like ego look at how you play the game and be like, oh, offended if somebody were to call out a bad play. That's the whole purpose of what the fuck you do on a team. Like, think about high school coaches, right? Or like any level of play, any sport that you play, right? There's coaches, whatever. They're going to be on you. They're going to be trying to play. They want you to get out of here, and they want you to play up freaking here, man. That's what they want you to play at. So, like, I was constantly bitched at, man. All kinds of things. Rather it be work, rather it be football, taekwondo. Like, I've been at the bottom with how it feels, I guess. But that doesn't mean, like, that's what these guys always do. That's what a coach is supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to get on each other. A coach wants you to go from wherever you may be to rise above the occasion and play at the high level, because that's what's going to win championships. That's how you're going to win. If a team isn't doing that and you're just kind of playing and everybody's kind of being nice to each other and you're like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like, we're not going to get anywhere that way, man. We're just simply not. That's why I sort of am the way I am, because I want us to win. If I didn't care about us really playing, like, if I didn't really care too much, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, oh yeah, let's just give it a go, right? I wouldn't even do any of this. I wouldn't have even made it. I wouldn't even give a damn. If we get offended, if I were to break down our film and I give a stance on it, and we're sitting here thinking that, like, what, like, you're just getting upset. Like, there's nothing I can do, man, because, like, it's feedback at the end of the day. Right, we would definitely need to face better competition, but how do you do that without actually playing? Because yeah, like, you're not actually gonna excel unless something takes you there. But on the odd side of that, if you don't actually know what you're doing wrong, meaning the reason I do these film sessions is to take us, if we were to still, let's say we do play at this level here and we were facing this, we could still learn something from these guys, the way they're playing, and that could still propel us upward, even if it isn't us facing that really good high level team. It doesn't have to be we face this and that's what's going to take us there. Yeah, because it would. Obviously, you face something better than you, that's naturally going to take you higher, because you're going to learn that way, because you're going to be shit on and you're going to be forced to make a change. You're not going to make a change if you're here and that's good enough to beat anything down here regularly, because it's like, oh well, I'm the best. We're like winning these games 10-0 all day. Like, that's true. You have to face better competition, but that doesn't necessarily mean you actually do every single time. Like, you could still learn something from these games that you're doing, because you're not always playing at this level. You are making some plays that are down here. You're making some plays that are here. To be an average guy, you have to be making a mix of high and low. That's why I say compare highs and lows. What was it? If we can't clearly define that. And obviously we can't do it for Wednesday, because we can't clearly do it because we don't have the film right in front of us. But you can at least think about what you thought was good, what you thought was bad, what you thought wasn't. Exactly, right? 99% of the people playing this game will do exactly that. They're going to do this. They want to be facing anybody up here. And that's obviously naturally how you're going to eventually win. But it doesn't mean you can't learn something from the guys down here. Because otherwise, like you have to watch what you're doing. Even when we win and I'm really just wanting to play, then I always even look at some of this play and where do I rank compared to that? Yeah, you're naturally always gonna compete and play high level talent if you want to excel to that high level talent, because it's right in front of you. You're losing. You have to obviously make a change for you to win. You have to see exactly what's wrong. We'll see. You have to look at your game close enough to sort of see, because I'm always thinking like, all right, I feel like I'm kind of lackluster here. Even though we're winning 5-0, you could still look at this, you could still look at anything down here and still make some changes, right? It's not like it's impossible if you don't do that. Maybe that's how I was able to get to where I was in only 2 years of playing sixes. So I feel like I should have been... It would have taken me a lot longer to try to get to where I currently believe I'm at if I was not doing this. Because now I feel like also you sort of get the knowledge. At the very least, you know what's down here and what's up here when you look at both levels of play. So I look at esports streams, I look at exactly what they're doing. I try to implement that to my own gameplay. That's looking at what it takes to play there. And then obviously when you play low-end talent, it's like, all right, this isn't good, this isn't good, this isn't good. They're not doing this, they're not doing that. All right, you can draw a baseline of where you think you are, and you can compare, again, the highs and lows, and you can excel that way by even just looking at what these guys are doing and you're not. Because now you gain an understanding, you at least understand the IQ part of it. A lot of people don't get that. They just understand the gameplay mechanics and like the skill it takes. They're not actually understanding the IQ part of the game. Thus, that's what's still keeping them down here. Even if they face high level talent, because they don't actually know what the hell is going wrong. They just think, oh, it's the game. And exactly where I put that line is where I believe the casuals are. So, and everybody that, I mean, comp, right? Like the guys really wanting to play, I guess, could range from that, the higher you go. But I think there's a lot more people playing here than there are actually playing much higher than that. Because I think what it takes to actually go from this to all the way up here is way longer than we think it is. It's not just like, oh, you're decent, that means you're middle ground. No, decent's down here. It takes a Herculean effort to go here in a matter of not that long, you know? And yeah, you would need a team to back you up, years of chem to actually develop that. I mean, does it even make sense? Am I somehow not saying it right? Well, no, I want to talk a little bit before we get into it. This was all strictly gameplay where we thought we were, all that. Looking at the scale, whatever. Is there anything you guys want to add to that? Or do you want to just go right to the conversation? We can still talk about it if you want. But I'm going to probably close the stream if that's the case. And then I might reopen a new one after our conversation. Because I'm not just going to go into games unless we're on the same page. Because I still don't think we're on the same page. Not just about this, but about the team as a whole. Not about to just play games. All right, do you guys want to talk? All right, I'm going to close the stream then, guys. So if you guys are here again, if you want to watch this in like fully, you can go back to the YouTube channel and do that. It makes sense to me. It's clear, good clarification. All right, I do want to talk. If we do plan on playing, I do want to have a little conversation because with recent information, obviously that brings in another concern. So I'm going to close the stream here, guys. And then if I do, I'll just open up a new one after. Okay. So I'll appreciate you guys if you guys were here for just that. And yeah, if I see you, it'll be a little bit later.